You know what I've always thought it was interesting to do, which you can probably hear from a lot of the noise behind me, is to try and do a vlog or try and do a stream from inside. This is South Center you're looking at in Tukwila, Washington. So I wanted to try it, not wanted to in the sense like, yay, I desperately wanted to, but wanted to in the sense that this is one place I haven't done, so maybe I should try and do it. So I guess that's Westfield. That's what it is. So I always kind of, and I could see all the Hollister, and I think that's called Gilly Hicks there, H&M, all different places around me that I always thought it was interesting just to see if I could do one, just to see what it would come across as. And I thought it'd be interesting just to try it out, just to see it. And so I figured, why not? So I just did it. So this is what you're looking at. There's not much to go on, not much that I wanted to mention, but there's a lot of that I wanted to mention. I'm going to mention, but that I wanted to mention, that's another story. There's this plant here. I'm going to see if I can get behind it. Probably not, but anyway. So it's kind of loud here because it's a Saturday, so that's the kind of noise you're hearing behind the microphone here. But I'm also getting a lot of faces as people are strolling by. Question: how many people are going to see a camera pointed somewhere and try to wave at it, or laugh at it, or point at it, or something like that? I'd imagine at least one or two people, but we'll see. I bet you it's going to happen, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't. But anyway, so what I wanted to mention, and what I didn't mention yesterday, because I got halfway into the video and it just stopped. So I figured I've done all this walking. I was in Maple Valley. I've done all this walking, and I figured, okay, enough with it. It just got annoying. And I said, okay, enough with this. So I just stopped. And it just, okay, enough. So I didn't post anything. I did record something yesterday, but I didn't post it because it was just like bass backwards. That's not actually what I want to say, but that's the appropriate way to say it right now. So what I was mentioning yesterday was that there is a place in Maple Valley called Just Poke. Now, it's Hawaiian raw fish. That just makes me feel weird. Now, I know it's poke, but everyone who sees that is probably not going to know how to pronounce that correctly, so it's just going to see just poke. And they're going to think, is that the best name for something? Like, oh, we need to rename it, or maybe just try and rename something. Because, no, you want to be truthful to what you're serving, but you also have to realize that just everyone who sees this is going to mispronounce it. So, yes, it's just poke. But everyone who sees it is not going to pronounce poke. They're going to pronounce poke. So they're going to think, isn't that kind of graphic for a restaurant? No. Sidebar. That's one of my favorite good restaurants, Shake Shack. I know many people might not like it, but burgers and fries and stuff like that. And people have said, go to Five Guys. I have. And while I have liked Five Guys burgers, the last few times I've been there, the burgers have been kind of crusty. And not crusty like they were cooked right or overcooked in certain areas. It was like they shouldn't be cooked the way they were. So it was kind of crusty in that way. So that kind of ruined my desire for Five Guys. So that's why I go there a lot. So I like the taste of their food. Good food. I like it. The food court is in there. This is why I like holding the microphone the way I am. Because what will invariably happen is that I will have to burp so I can pull the microphone away from my mouth. Like that. So, but I have eaten at a lot of places, like sushi places, and I'm not a fan of sushi. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I do. I just prefer not to eat it because raw things just doesn't strike me as being that great to eat. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, that's just kind of weird of you to say that. But I'm going along that. It's just like sushi. Like I would eat it. There's sushi stuff that I like that I don't dislike sushi. It's just it's not like I said. It's not my cup of tea. Not what I would prefer. And same thing with poke. A raw Hawaiian fish. No, I wouldn't. Because it's raw. It may taste good. It probably does. But raw, no. And I've heard people, like on a podcast that I'm a big fan of, a podcast that I really like, someone was talking about eating whole head snapper with the head on. Now, no. I do like snapper. Snapper is very good tasting. I do like it. Head on? No. Don't. No, I wouldn't. Would you want to look at the head of something while you're eating it? No. Imagine a chicken. Looking at a chicken with its head on. Would you eat that? Chicken tastes great. Absolutely. One of my favorite dishes. I wouldn't eat it because with the head on. Would you look at a hamburger with a cow with its head on? No. Because the food is great. The food tastes great. But you wouldn't want to look something in the eye, look at what you're eating in the eye. It's just no. That's not appetizing. That's not good. So no, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be something I would go for, or something that I would do. So every so often I'm just stopping and glancing at my phone and glancing at what it's doing, just see the time running, just so I can check. Every so often I like to check. So cuisine-wise, my stomach is Italian. I'm not, but my stomach is. And you put anything against Italian food and it will lose every single time. Guaranteed. Like anything versus Italian food with me will lose every single time. My food, like Garfield, my food is lasagna. That's my epitome of everything. I love lasagna. Now, Mexican food is a second. Not a close second, not a distant one either, but is a second. Mexican food is good. Like, as long as it's not spicy. Like, I can't do spice. And I guess from what one of my friends says, one of my producers, who's an APRN, Advanced Practice Registered Nurse, with a DNP, Doctor of Nursing Practice, she says if you have a very low tolerance or you can't stand spicy foods, it means you have a lot of pain or heat receptors on your tongue. I think they're TRPV1 receptors. I think that's what they're called. And if you can't take that or you can't stand spice, it means you have a lot of those on your tongue. So I apparently have an overabundance of those on my tongue. I have a lot of those. And I don't do spice. I don't like spice in anything. And my tongue and my taste buds are hypersensitive to spice. So that's probably what that means. Like if something has any spice at all, if it exists even in molecular form, my taste buds will taste it. I've encountered a lot of people who have said, no, this has no spice, or this doesn't taste like it has spice. And then I said, oh, okay, and I trust the people who say that to me. And I said, oh, okay, it doesn't have spice. And I taste it, and I'm like, yep, that's spicy. Yep, I can taste it. And the people will look at me like, what, really? You picked up on that? And I said, yeah, of course I did. There's spice in there in some way. Even if it's just like you're sprinkling salt on a dish or on like a food. If you just tip the salt shaker slightly, just like for an eighth of a second, like just really quick. If you're spreading spice on something and you do that to it, my taste buds will taste it. Like if it exists, even on a molecular level, my taste buds will taste it. And like I said, I don't like that. I really don't like that in a dish. To me, it ruins the dish for me. It ruins the flavor and the taste of the dish. Like if you're putting something in your mouth and you can't get past the spiciness of it, if it's spicy, all you're going to taste is the receptors on your tongue responding to the spice that's activating them. And you're trying to get past that. You're trying to ignore that. You're trying to get around it. So so if that's what I'm trying to get around and that's all I can taste, that's not going to work. That's just not going to work for me. And that's going to ruin the flavor because all I will taste is a spice. So spicy dishes ruin flavor for me. And it's like, it doesn't matter what a dish tastes like. If it has spice in it, it has no taste to me. I can't taste it. See, that's why I moved the mic away from my mouth. I just had one of my favorite burp come up. So, yeah, if it has spice in it, if a dish has spice in it at all, I won't eat it. Because I can't taste the dish if it has flavor. If a dish has flavor and it has spice in it, I won't eat it. Because I won't taste the flavor. The spice will ruin it for me. And to me, spice ruins flavor. And I won't eat it. Now, yes, that's weird. I'm one of those very weird people. I'm very hypersensitive to spice. Like I said, I don't like it. I know people who like spice. My nephew is a big spice person. He's also the person who wanted to make grilled cheese with a blowtorch. Well, you're rolling your eyes right now, and I am too. Like, why would you do that? I kind of find it funny and kind of give him a pat on the back and a props for being creative like that. So I kind of give him props for that. So it's different for everyone. I can't handle spice and I don't want it. I know people who can take a little bit of it, and I've known people who can't take any of it, and I'm one of the people who can't take any of it, who don't want it to exist at all in a dish. Now, I know, because this has occurred to me when other people have asked, if you like meat, like hamburgers or steak. Steak is also something that I won't be drawn to, that I don't dislike, but I won't be drawn to it. Hamburgers and steak and meats like that, I like well done. Like, not medium, not rare. Like I just said earlier in the video, I don't like rare things. They're not good. I won't get meat. I won't get meat medium or anything. It has to be well done. Very well done. So it's just a preference of how I like things to taste. I know, as I've joked a lot before, a lot of people who cook or have cooked for me will cook things rare done, who will make things, especially, that don't have any spice in them. Or one of my producers, when she cooks for her wife, and when she cooks, she knows her wife doesn't like spicy stuff. She can tolerate a little bit of it, but doesn't like it. So she tries to make things that aren't spicy. And when I go over and hang out with them, or I go over and see them, she doesn't make spicy things. Now, I probably have said this before, so I apologize for the repetition. They are renewing their vows on the 13th of this month of August. And yes, they got married 8 years ago, and I was the one that performed their wedding. And they've asked me to do their vows, help them out at their renewal. So, of course I said yes, like, duh, why wouldn't I? So, they have always been open and honest and direct, and they don't care if I say, because there's no problem with hiding from your past. They are, so people have asked, their followers, and people who have followed the vlog have asked. Kaylee has a APRN and a DNP from Stanford and Johns Hopkins. And her wife, Cirrus, has a Master's of Archaeology from the Department of Anthropology at the University of Washington. So, nerds. So, they always laugh and joke around when I tease them. So, and Cirrus is into space. She loves space like I do. So that's what her job is. She works for Blue Origin. And that's what her job is. So that's a cool thing for both of us to connect on. So, they have followers and people who have watched the vlog have asked, how do they connect? Well, so I didn't know this. When they were 18, that was technically when Cirrus first proposed to her girlfriend. And they were 18, and they were sitting on the back porch of her mom's house, and they were looking out on Mount Rainier. And I forget what the whole situation that led up to it was. Cirrus just looked at her girlfriend and said, "Marry me, please. I want to spend my life with you." And that was when they were 18. They have been married 8 years now, and I think they're 30 now. That would make them 22, I think. And you're going, yes, that would be the math. That's correct. That would make them 22, I believe, if my math's correct, which it usually isn't, but that's what I believe is correct. So, and their renewal is the 13th. So I'm lucky to perform it for them, and they are the epitome of aw. They're such a cute couple. They really are. And when you picture people, or when you think of people that fit perfectly together, that they're half of a soul and their spouse is the other half, that's them. Like, Cirrus is one half a soul and Kaylee is her other half. And Kaylee will say that too. She's one half and Cirrus is her other half. They are that. They are all. They really are an adorable couple. And you can tell from a billion miles away that they belong together. They always have. And from the moment they were born, that's what was going to happen. It was always going to be that way. Now, Kaylee has what she calls, like I said in previous vlogs, Kaylee has what she calls birth people. Her birth woman and her birth guy. And I think her birth guy had said, I think the quote was, "You shamed us," which is offensive, just to say to someone who's supposed to be your kid. And so she grew up with people who disrespected her and abused her and she left and moved away, and she moved in with who is her wife now, and now she has a woman named Sophie, and Sophie is her adoptive mother, is the only person she's ever known who she can use the term mother to apply to. So Sophie is Kaylee's mother, Kaylee's adopted mother, and both Kaylee and Sophie adopted each other legally. So the way Sophie looks at Kaylee, and it's funny, they actually do look a lot alike. The way they look at each other is like, Sophie really looks at her like, I don't need to be blood related to this person. This person is my daughter. This person is my kid. And Sophie feels like Kaylee is part of her soul. And she does belong to her, and Kaylee belongs to her. Kaylee belongs to Sophie. And it's really cute the way mother and daughter, they always are. So I know there's a lot more I can say, but thank you all so much for hanging around with me and going through this schlep through the mall. So thank you all so much. Hit that follow button. Thank you.